Hello, good evening and welcome to the Little Farmer's Farm with me, Big Daddy Farmer, Tony. In a moment we're going to go and see my twin brother Bilo, aka Guru Murphinda, down at the allotments in Eden. It's an action-packed one, it's a full one today, boys and girls, because he's doing all sorts. I think he starts off by chasing a little Tweety bird that's been trapped inside the greenhouse. And he rescues that, and then from then he goes on to I've made some notes here. Tons of taters. So there's 3 different methods of potato growing going on today, and it'll be a step-by-step guide on all 3 of them. After that, we move on then to the hormonal stimulation for pregnant sun gold tomatoes. So you'll be seeing some tomatoes give birth today in the correct manner. A different form of potting on and growing on of the tomatoes from the one that we've got in the tiki tunnel. A more standard method, growing them in water trays in buckets. And then we'll be looking at, in the end, there's a special guest star, Robert De Niro. It's Robert De Niro kale you'll be seeing today. And also a cheeky little melon plant, called either, if you're a polite person, milk melon. It's a type of gourd called milk melon, or titty melon, if you're not a polite person. It depends on how it's labelled. Some places you'll get the seeds, it'll be titty melons, and other places it'll be the milk melon. So yeah, a full episode tonight, guys. Hope you like it. I'll try and timestamp a lot of this stuff, so if you've not got the time to watch the entire thing, which is going to be over half an hour, I would have thought, then I'll timestamp it so you can click to the different sections. Okay, I'll get off now so you can start the video, and please comment, like, and subscribe. If you're not a subscriber already, please subscribe. If you are a subscriber, hit that bell notification button so you don't miss another exciting episode down here on the Little Farmer's Farm with me and the gang. Enjoy. There's our little guy. Come on out. Your nest's over there, mate. It's over there. Come on. I'll tell you what, I'll go in and frighten him out. Come on. Out. This way. Don't hurt yourself. Go on. There's the door. Come on. Oh, you poor little bugger. Come on out. This way. Oh, you nearly did it then. Come on this way. There's the door. Here. Oh, you poor little girl. Come on out. There you go. Good lad. There's its nest on the side of the tiki hut. Now, I don't know how long it's been in there because the door was shut when I came up. I just saw it, but it sat there. Oh, I bet it's been in overnight. Never saw him last night. Right, at least he's out now, or she. Got chicks, I bet, in there, or eggs. So where we cleared out the hedgerows yesterday, the lady farmers mulched and put weed membrane down. We've got weed membrane as well underneath the wood chips that we've got on there. So in a hudel culture kind of fashion, I'll now fill this. Look at that, cheeky get weed. Chuck him away. I'll now fill that up with the compost and soil, and we've got another bed. Oh, the lady farmer's got another bed on that side. Now, I don't know what she wants to put in that, so I'll just fill it and put cardboard over the top so all these dandelion spores don't get all over it. And we'll leave that for Helen's decision tomorrow when she comes down with the kids. But I might as well fill it up now and cover it, so at least then it's ready for planting out. Okie doke, I like it, good. Extends that bed. We've still got just about enough space as well to get round. If you can look there, there's about a foot or so you can still get round. You can tend to this area, and yeah, like it, good. I like these pallet collars for transportation of goods. So they all linked together. You can build them up. If you look at Terry King at Terry's Allotment Gardening on a Budget. So, oh God, what's your name, Terry? I keep forgetting your name. I keep changing his name. Terry King. Type in Terry King and have a look at him. He's good. He uses a lot of pallet collars and builds them up. You can build them up as high as you like, really. They all interlock, as you see, like that, in the corners. And you can get quite a high raised bed with them. I think they're cool. I think they're good. So this is the way forward, boys and girls, when you're splitting and splitting down a pallet. Keep your social distances always, as ever.
Morning.
And who are you, mate?
Magical Michael. McDarby's farm.
McDarby from all McDarby's farm, and here it is. If you watch his channel, there's his green man.
Bit of persuasion, see, I wasn't persuaded.
Where did you get them from, Mick?
Oh, these are these. Digging for dinner. No,
He's a good lad, isn't he?
yeah, he's a cracker.
Comes out with all sorts of stuff.
Just done from work. Just dropped her off at work and they've had the delivery, so
Yeah,
whatnot. On a little planks there.
they'll do, won't they, for your
I don't know.
for the officer's mess?
Yes.
Have a look at Mick's channel, Old McDarby's Farm. You will not be disappointed. There's all sorts going on here, isn't there, mate?
Yeah. Be a bit more if you stop for me.
All right then. See you in a bit. So we got those first two rolls of kestrel, and then the second two rolls. Oh, sorry, those are Red Duke of York, and those are kestrel. Kestrel are second early, but we've got 2 rolls of the Red Dukes of York and 2 rolls of kestrel in there. I planted them right down to the bottom of that, and I will be heaping that up, and we'll see how they go. So they'll have about 8 to 10 inches of grow room through the compost. I've added quite a bit of chicken manure in there because it's a barren compost that we're using there. But yeah, I'm going to top it off with the cheapo stuff, the multi-purpose compost. Sure, that was from Lidl or somewhere like that. It's only 99p a bag, 20 litre bag. So that's what's going to go on the top of that. And yeah, give them a good watering. And off you go. I'll label them up. Happy days. So the Red Dukes are red and the kestrel's green. And they're all in, filled up to bursting. Hiya. So we've had word back on the pallet's collar bed, and the word is potato. So we're going to get some more potatoes in there. I can get to about, I would say, 12 plants in. And so that's what we're doing. I've filled the first 3 or 4 inches. Obviously, it's lined out at the bottom. It's got the weed membrane on it. So I put about 3 or 4 inches of compost in there. Also, on the next 3 or 4 inches, I put mix the chicken manure in, the organic chicken manure in with it. And I'm going to plant the potatoes in now and top it off with some more cheapo 99p compost from the Aldi shop. And there we go, get it watered up. So we'll do that now. Okay. Hello. I'm currently standing in front of the tiki hut, and this is the big 8-foot bed by 4-foot bed that's in front of the tiki hut. If you remember last year, if you're a long-term viewer, we had the kale here, we had the leeks here, we had about 40 leeks I think in this area, and we've been eating a lot of leek and potato soup. So because we had leeks in it last time, we're going to be putting the potatoes in there. I've dug down there about 12 inches. I'm going to be adding into that some of the chicken pellets. Just a sprinkle into there. Move you along a little bit, boys and girls. Like a half handful really into there. A little bit on top. Kestrel second earlies. Kestrel second earlies, deeply seated, about a good foot below the ground. And I'm going to cover those up now with the soil and compost that I removed from there. Don't put any feed above the level of the potato, because the roots come out from here. You can see those little nodules on there. Those are going to be the roots, hopefully, all being well. They'll go down and seek out the nutrition that's in the soil below them. You don't need anything above them. Potatoes are quite robust, really, as a plant, and tend to look after themselves. But we do give them a bit of a feed. Some people say not to use the chicken manure because there's a lot of nitrogen in it. But from the potato experiments we've done in the past, chicken manure did the best, both on foliage and on tubers, weight of tubers. So that's what we tend to use. You may have seen on some of the other potato videos, we've been using bloodfish and bone, or a combination of chicken manure and bloodfish and bone. But as I say, when we did the experimentation with them, the chicken manure, organic chicken manure pellets, did the best for us. So that's what we're doing. Okay, see you shortly. Okay, as you can see, I've hilled them, but I've only hilled them a few inches, and I may well top them off when they burst through. But there's the second row, ready for rocking and rolling. We're going to get 4 rows of 4 in there, making 16 plants altogether. When those onions and garlic come out in about 2 or 3 weeks' time, there'll be another batch going in, so we'll have a succession of potatoes all in this same bed. In fact, what I may well do is put 3 lots of 4 in there, and then when they come out, another 3 lots of 4. The second earlies tend to take, well, around about 14-15 weeks on here, something like that. Actually, the second earlies are about 16 weeks. So in 16 weeks' time, there's the first sets, or rather the first 12 plants will be ready for digging, and hopefully we'll get about 3 or 4 pounds off each one. Fingers crossed. Last year we got about 3.5 pounds from each seed potato last year. So that's what we're hoping for again this year. And then obviously, because the other ones will have been planted 3 or 4 weeks after that, by the time we've eaten these ones will be ready, and we'll successionally grow them. We started off the first bunches of potatoes in the buckets there. I'll just tell you now, I can get past my plank. So the Red Dukes, 23rd of March, 23rd of March. So that was about 6 or 7 weeks ago now that we planted them in. And so they'll be ready, because they're early potatoes. They should be ready after about 12 to 14 weeks. So in another 6 weeks' time, they'll be ready for cropping. They'll be ready for cropping about another 6 weeks after that. And these will be ready for cropping another 6 weeks after that. All being well, providing we get the right conditions for them. So I'm just going to put some more chicken manure in, about half a handful in each. And do the same process as we did with that. So we'll have 3 lots, 3 hills, 3 mountain ranges in the end. Okay, thanks. And like that, all the way along. Easy as pie. Now let's give them a ruddy good watering. There's going to be 20 litres of water going into that 4 foot square section of bed for their initial drink. That should start the roots. Now, as many of you might know, Tony O'Neill at Simplify Gardening recommends growing potatoes in buckets, and he uses the the big 35-litre buckets for his growing. Another grower that does grow in buckets, prolifically in buckets, is a guy called Homegrown Veg, HGV. He always does them in buckets, gets 2 or 3 pounds out of each one. We did them in buckets last time and got the same kind of results. As I say, when we grew them in the buckets last time, we were using the chicken manure, the bloodfish and bone, and Grow More as our spud shootout experiment. I'll put the link in the description below and show you the results of that. Now, Tony always recommends and favours the bloodfish and bone because there's too much nitrogen using the chicken pellets. So what we're going to do this time is we're going to try a combination of the two, the bloodfish and the bone and the chicken manure pellets. Last time we got about 2 1/4 pounds out of each bucket. So this time, let's see what we get. The 2 1/4 pounds was out of the chicken manure pellets, and I think it was about £2, 1 ounce or something like that on average out of the bloodfish and bone. So we're going to do a half and half a cup of each in each one of these buckets, just to see what happens. Okie doke. So 2 double handfuls, which covers about 4 or 5 inches into the bottom. Add to that, I'm going to add a handful of that and a handful of that. That's your bloodfish and bone, that's your organic chicken manure pellets. That's going to be going in to the first 4 or 5 inches where the roots can get the benefit from it. So I'll do that now, and then put the potato in about 2 inches off the deck so that its nose is just about sticking up above that compost. Those are the same or very similar sized potatoes, duck egg sized, with very similar 2 to perhaps 3 chittages on them. So in the spirit of fairness, they're all the same potato as well. So we're going to get those in. They're all actually Maris. No, they're not Maris. The Sarpo Mira. I'm telling you lies. The Sarpo Mira, those that are going in there, which is a main cropper and does grow quite big. So there's a good chance that we could split a few buckets with these if we're really lucky. But we'll see what we get out of them. With them being the main cropper, I'm hoping that we're going to sort of get probably 4 pounds, fingers crossed, from each one of those buckets. 4 pounds weight of potatoes from each one of those buckets, which in the end will be 24 pound of potatoes out of 6 cut flower buckets. But we'll see what happens. It's exciting. It's an exciting little experiment for the summer. So we'll see what we get at the end of them. They'll probably be in there for about 18 weeks, something like that. 18 to 20 weeks, really. And the Sarpos are notorious slow starters. So, hey, you never know. Let's see what we get. I'm going to do that now anyway. Handful of the bloodfish and bone, handful of the organic chicken manure pellets into each one of those buckets, and off we go. Yep. Give it a good swizz round. It's a good mixing. Make a little divot in the middle. It's only about 1.5 inches, 2 inches off the bottom. In goes Mr. Chit. See 2 chits on. We'll put him sideways like that for a laugh. Oh, we'll stick him like that. Stick him like that. Get equal chance. He's bedded. Another double handful of the compost will be going on that with no feed in it, and we'll carry on until they're up. Happy days. Okay, so they're all in. Another double handful of the compost will go on top of that, providing another couple of inches of coverage over the top, so there'll be about 3 inches of coverage over the top of them, and then they'll get a good watering in. Yeah, the potato will be about 2 or 3 inch, well, 3 or 4 inches down below the level of the compost. The watering in, I'll get all the compost around the potato, hopefully then the roots will come out from the base of the chits, seek out the nutrition, gain that nutrition, and fire the plants on. So that's the game plan, boys and girls. So I'll just top those off now to about halfway. Okay, so just over a litre of water has gone into each one of those. That'll soak down through the compost to the potato, hopefully triggering the root growth around the base of the chits. And off we go again. Sarpos those. Any luck, they'll be bursting through those buckets. We'll have a bumper crop. We'll see how we go. Right. So one more final thing before we go. I'll show you a different method of growing the tomatoes. You've seen the method inside the boxes with the ground watering system inside the tiki tunnel. So there's one more one to show you, and a different method, a more standard method really, but it's just to show you a bit of variety and variation. If you haven't got a tunnel like this, you've just got a greenhouse, a watering tray, and a bucket. You can do it this way. I'll show you now. So here's one of our sun gold friends. He's the last of the bunch that need to be planted in. I like sun gold, so I want to make more sun gold, and we're going to do that. I'll show you a quick trick on that actually, using him. Yeah, sprouting from the crux of the elbow joint there is another plant. So we'll show you what you need to do with that. That's organic rooting powder. Now we don't dip these guys. I noticed another one, there's two there. We don't dip those guys directly into that in case there are any pathogens on it that are going to get into our hormonal organic rooting powder. We put that first into here. Other containers are available. And then what you do is you get that, swish its base around, its basal stem, in that, and pot it on. Now, we're going to do that, but because, like an idiot, I've forgotten my, tripod, I'm just going to have to do it and show you what the next step is. That's a pot we prepared earlier, just got the compost in there. The exact same type of pot that these ones come out of, its daddy comes out of, which is that, the sun gold. He's got his base of his stem about 1.5 inches covered in the organic rooting powder, the hormonal rooting powder. And he's going to go into there. We're going to pop him in, into there, like that. And then we're going to pinch it around, like this. And then all we do is add a bit of water. Well, we're not even going to do that. We're going to put that into a watering tray and let the water soak up into that. We're going to put some vermiculite round, and I'll show you that next with the two of them. There's his brother. And there we are, the humble tomato plant. The gift that just keeps on giving. Very productive. It has lots of babies that you can just snip out and let roam free in the wild on their own, like that. And actually they're in captivity, aren't they, I suppose. And there we are. I got two more off that one. This one, which if you remember when we planted them in there, was the daddy of them. And it's already getting trusses on it, as you can see there. So hopefully the bees and other bugs will find their way to those, and we'll already start. Now these are going to be tied on tomorrow, because I'm going to be single stemming those, vining them up this. So yeah, and then they're going to get pinched out when they get to about here. pinch out the growing tips, making sure that all the while we're taking these out. So these will be despurred tomorrow. Some of the lower branches, probably up to about there, are going to all come out, and then it's going to be tied on up there. So at the base of the plants, for a good 18 inches, you've got a free flow of air going through there with no foliage, and we're going to continue to clip back the foliage as the plant matures and grows up the cane. Those are the little baby ones from last week there, as you can see. But yeah, so those are the sun golds. Hopefully, fingers crossed, they'll turn into new sun gold plants. We've also got some interesting stuff over here. Secret Steve gave us those, so I've just potted those on there. Robert De Niro kale them in there. Robert De Niro. And these ones are what Rocky's wife has given us. Rocky has the Methodist mission on the other side of the plots. I'll show you that one day. It's a massive growing cage that looks exactly like a Methodist mission. It's brilliant. It's even got stained glass windows at the top. It's wonderful. And so those are milk melons. That's a milk melon plant. More commonly and rudely described as a titty melon. They're called titty melons, and they're actually more like a gourd than a melon, but they do look like ladies' boobs. Very similar to ladies' boobs. It's a type of gourd. In a bit of a quandary now there, though, because I don't know where to put that. My greenhouses and polytunnel, the polytunnel is full now, and the greenhouses are going to be full with the plants that we've got. But I'm going to have to make room for that. I'm thinking about putting that where the potato plants are at the moment, in the 4mm twin wall polycarbonate greenhouse at the side of the tiki hut. So instead of putting more peppers, cucumbers and tomatoes in there, I'm going to put the titty melon and see what that does. So yeah, interesting stuff. So that's the father of the sun golds. So let's get him in the bucket. So that bucket is now round about 3 inches filled to almost 3 inches from the top. We're going to sink that in to there. In fact, I'll make a bit of an hole first and then make the impression. Bit of a hole first. Riddle him in. Pack it round. What we're going to do is now take that out and plant it into the impression hole that we've made there, and then fill all the rest of it up with compost to about 1/2 inch before the top of that, the rim of that bucket. And then afterwards, we're gonna we'll take that out, put the plant in. I'll show you that. Put the plant in, put the rooting compound around there, and then stack it up with the compost. Right, so that's a decent coat, and up the stem as well, and so is the hole, as you can see there. So let's get him in there, get him into his new home. The hormonal rooting compound will encourage root growth, stimulate root growth. So we're going to fill that up there now to the top, and I'll show you that now. So that's it with the compost and vermiculite mix and the rooting compound on it. All that remains now is to top that off with the finer vermiculite. Not tons of this. It was in the dirty rat shed. About 6 bags of it. I don't know when I got it, but there's loads of it. Absolutely loads of it. But I'll soon get through it. I think it was Haughty Hugo the other night. He was saying, oh, you've got loads of growing space now, but I'm sure you'll fill it. And I thought, cheeky monkey. But to be honest with you, Hugo, you were bang on the money, because I'm running out of space now. Now things are getting big, growing big, and and tall and strong, they do tend to take up quite a bit more space. But as you can see, the daddy of the baby sun gulls, again, he's getting a truss on him now. So we're going to put him into the lady farmer's greenhouse, into a watering tray, and that's where he'll be living. So yeah, that's where he's going to be living. So what we'll do is, this is more sort of labour intensive, this method on the watering. It works. Lots and lots of people do it this way. But in hot conditions, it is more labour intensive. I'm going to labour intensive. I'm going to fill that up to the very rim now, and I'll bet you that by tomorrow there's hardly any water in that. That'll have all been soaked up, or the majority of it. I'd say half of it really. It'll be soaked up by capillary action into that bucket. Now, because his roots are about here, he should get that water and start to seek out nutrition, and there isn't much nutrition in there, so that should give him a good root ball, so that in 2 weeks' time, when it's feeding time for him and he gets fed from the top, it'll all come down that feed, and he'll get his chest will swell, and he'll do all right in here, I think. We've done them before in here, had no problems whatsoever. We're going to get 3 into there, spaced out, so one there, one in the middle, one where those red cabbage are. 3 there, 3 here, 3 next to him, and 3 over there. So all told in here, at least, we'll have at least 12 plants growing in here. Probably more, because on this side, we'll probably have 6 at the back and 6 in front. Or at least 9, 6 at the back, and maybe 3 here, leaving a little section there that I can get in and tend them. Across the back, yeah, 12 over here, another 3. We're going to get plenty of plants in, put it that way. Anyway, watch and see as we go forward. So that's the daddy sun gold in his new home. Right, now that's me done. I've done my 4 hours now today, definitely. Probably done more than the full 4 hours. I've done about 4.5 hours, to be honest, so apologies for that. So I'm going to get off now and get myself home, showered, and not drinking tonight. We had the virtual pub last night, so I'm going to have a night off from it, because I had 7 cans of 500 millilitre Stella Artois, which is not ideal. I was late for the plots this morning because I needed to sober up. It was about 9:30, 10 o'clock when I came down. So I'm going to get off now anyway. And I'll see you later. I'll see you tomorrow. If I don't see you through the week, I'll see you through the window. I've been Guru Murphinda. And remember, keep growing with your head down. And we love you all. Please don't forget to comment, like and subscribe. And if you really like what we're doing, hit that bell notification icon below, and you won't miss another exciting episode from the Little Farmer's Farm with moi. See you later, alligator.